right? Shout out to the hot takes gang. So we're just going to go through a couple of articles that I found that I either thought were interesting, maybe some of them I thought were funny, but they're all centered around what's going on in the music community. So the first big one, y'all know. Oh man, this first big one, SoundCloud has been preparing to sell for over a year. Woo. Wow. When I heard this, I was shocked. And y'all, this is actually breaking news. This article on Billboard was just dropped 2 days ago. So it was just dropped on Monday. And then I saw a couple of things about it. I wanted to see more information, kind of find out what was going on. And we've got a really well put together article here. I haven't read through the whole thing, so we're going to kind of get to interact with it together. Actually, before I do that, though, let me get some background music. Y'all know how I am. I cannot have just silence in here. So we're going to play some music in the background, and I'm going to go through this article. It says the stakeholders have major investments. It's time, says a former employee. Dang. And it's interesting because I saw a lot of this happening behind the scenes. Y'all know I worked for a music tech company. Some of y'all may have heard of Rap Chat. I worked for them for a few years. So I got to meet and know and learn a lot about the business, a lot of the things that go on behind the scenes. And I think this is something that if you saw some of the things that were going on behind the scenes, you could kind of see this coming a little bit. But I was honestly a little surprised at what was going on, just because SoundCloud was making so many moves and so many changes. But a lot of times when you're preparing to sell a company, that's some of the things that take place. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on here. So it says SoundCloud has been eyeing a sale and actively pursuing initiatives internally. Boy, they're using a lot of big words in here, man. They're testing my reading comprehension here. That would, end quote, that would increase the valuation of the company since the second half of 2022. This isn't surprising. Again, I mentioned they've been making a lot of moves and really trying to improve the platform. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Anyway, let's see. According to two former employees who spoke to Billboard on the condition of anonymity. Boy, a lot of big words in this article. They're trying to trip me up. Meanwhile, COO and CFO Drew Wilson is preparing to leave the company after nearly 3 years in the role. Wow. According to the staff memo obtained by Billboard, Sky News reported on Sunday that SoundCloud was planning to pursue a sale in 2024, which is this year. This has been in the works for some time, says a former employee, tells Billboard. A lot of the decision making has been based on this. What do y'all think about this, man? SoundCloud is getting sold. I think a lot of y'all might know what I'm thinking. And we actually talked about it yesterday. So some of y'all may have not been watching the show, but yesterday we were talking about the future, what it looks like, what's going to happen with so many of these companies looking to sell, so many of them looking for support, some of the things that are going to happen with Web3 and moving forward with music. And I don't know how much of a hand the record labels and the current music industry had into SoundCloud, but I can see either a record label or a group, because there is a group out there. Actually, we're going to talk about that in another video. I don't want to give it away, but there is a very, very big record label based group out there that has acquired a lot of companies that you guys use and work with on a regular basis that you might not even know about. So something to look into for sure. Casper Clark said, I wasn't getting notifications for the show for some reason. Okay, I'll have to check on that. Thank you, Casper Clark. But let's keep it going. It says SoundCloud announced it was slashing 8% of its workforce last May, less than a year after a 20% cut. So, geez, in the past year, they've cut almost 30% of their workforce, which is crazy. To achieve profitability this year, as CEO Elia Seaton wrote in an email to staff at the time. The ambition to reach profitability was not just for the obvious reason of being profitable, the former employee continues. The bigger need was for this, to sell the company. The stakeholders have majority investments. It's time. Dang, that is crazy. A rep for SoundCloud declined to comment. Of course, they can't comment on this while everything's going on. The Ring Group also declined to comment. Wow. SoundCloud leadership had previously tossed around the idea, a best case scenario of reaching a 2.5 billion valuation for the company. Woo! Hold on a second. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Who says? Wow. Who says there's no money in music, man? I don't want to hear it. That is absolutely insane. Let me see. Is the volume coming through? Yeah, it is. That's weird. It's not showing on my end. Anyway. All right. So it says SoundCloud leadership. We read that part. $2.5 billion valuation for the company. I would love to see how they're getting that, because is SoundCloud paying out like that? I don't know. If y'all let me know if you have your music monetized on SoundCloud, or if you're making money off of posting your music on SoundCloud, let me know, because I'd be interested to see. That's insane. 2.5 billion. My goodness. The company likes to aim big. In internal meetings, executives also expressed a hope that one of the artists SoundCloud signed to deals in 2022 would have a major chart hit. One of the employees said that this has not happened. So who is the artist? Who is the artist that SoundCloud signed? I'll have to look that up and find out. Anyway, the more commonly cited valuation goal, sources say, was around 1 billion, which I mean makes a little bit more sense. There's $1 billion plus opportunity in front of us. Tracy Chan who joined SoundCloud as senior VP of creator in 2022, said at an all hands meeting this year. One of SoundCloud's former employees said most of the interest in the company came from private equity firms, not music companies. Oh my gosh.
Stop the cap.
I find that very hard to believe. For comparison's sake, when Square acquired Tidal in 2021, the streaming service was valued at around $375 million. Though SoundCloud is not just a streaming service, it also provides tools for creators to help them distribute, market, and monetize their music. Creator tools and services brought in more than 26 million for the platform in the first quarter of 2023. That makes a lot more sense. So I'll be interested to see where they're getting the rest of the money from, because that's like a $974 million gap in their valuation. So where are they getting? I don't know, y'all. Very interesting. Anyway, let's keep it going. According to screenshots from an all hands meeting shared with Billboard, nearly as much as subscriptions. Wow. Those screenshots indicate that SoundCloud had a gross profit of around 22 million in the first quarter of the year, but it spent around 4 million on marketing and another 23 million on staffing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. So let me see what they're saying in summary, and then we'll move on to the next one. In May 2023, SoundCloud aimed to reduce the headcount costs through a second round of cuts. Yeah, a lot of companies did that last year. The company I work for, was one of them that were included with that. Let me see. Investors are looking for companies that are very profitable. A lot of these companies are looking to sell off, and I think we're going to see more and more of these companies that are moving into selling while the market's hot right now too. The company said it finally reached profitability in December. All right, congratulations to SoundCloud for being profitable. All right, appreciate you, Lucas. Thanks for stopping by. All right, last thing, we'll move on to the next section. Now that we have achieved profitability and our business is crazy, y'all, man, we got to talk about business a lot more. Shout out to Smoking the One. It says, now that we have achieved profitability and are making progress on our strategic plan, we have nothing but opportunity in front of us. Seaton wrote in an email to staff on Monday that was obtained by Billboard. As we have mentioned in previous all hands meetings and AMAs, we will explore a range of options for our capital structure, but there is nothing to report right now, nor will there be anytime soon. All right, so there it goes, man. SoundCloud is selling off. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I would be interesting to see what happens with SoundCloud. I personally think this is a great opportunity for a record label or a label private equity firm, whoever gets their hands on it, to go with SoundCloud, because there's still a lot of artists, as y'all see on this show and on the Song of the Night live show, that are uploading their music to Spotify. So it's still a popular platform. It's not really going anywhere. So shout out to SoundCloud. All right, I said Spotify, SoundCloud. Wave Lori said, I wonder what percentage is ad revenue. I don't know. And honestly, they said there was an artist. What artist? I want to see what artist they're talking about that signed to SoundCloud. Now we're going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. What artist signed to SoundCloud? Because they said they had an artist sign last year. First on SoundCloud. Let me see. What artist signed to SoundCloud? First on SoundCloud. So they signed somebody that was backed by Coach K. All right, so we're gonna have excuse me, we're gonna have to look into that, and maybe we'll do some more research and see what's going on there. But I hadn't heard of that. If you guys have heard of that in the chat, let me know.